It's okay to be average in the gym. Um, I shot this video once already, and I didn't like it. I felt like it didn't come off the way I wanted it to. Um, and so I'm going to try this a second time, even though that's really unusual for me. Typically, I just try to shoot from the hip and do it once. That way, I don't sound like it's scripted. So we're going to try to do this just shooting from the hip. But, I gave myself a day to try to forget the things I said in the previous one. So it's okay to be average in the gym. And I mean that. And I want you to understand something here. I started the first one off with a little bit of humor, and I guess I'll include it in here. Surprisingly enough, I never get accused of using steroids. It doesn't happen. At an official height now, we have an official height from Mayo Clinic of 69.66 inches. Yes, I feel like I should round up and just call myself 5'10", but we're just going to go with 5'9" and 165 pounds. No one ever looks at me and thinks that I lift weights even. Like when I'm dressed in regular street clothes, I don't look like a guy who lifts weights. So I look like a very normal person. I'm not Marcus Philly. People aren't accusing me of using steroids. So it doesn't happen to me. And I'm joking and laughing about that because I'm normal. Like, oh, no, that's terrible. And the thing is that it's okay for you to be average, and stay with me, because most of us are going to be average, okay? You are not going to have amazing gym numbers because for whatever reason, you just weren't blessed with that gift, okay? And I want to back up here and point something out here. Even pro athletes who are not average at all at their sport, okay? A lot of them have very average numbers in the gym. Kevin Love, I discussed this the other day. I can't remember if it was 17 or 18 reps. I think it might have been 17. 17 reps of 185 bench press. That's a very underwhelming gym lift. However, he would kick your ass at basketball. So, you look at these different athletes. I don't care who we're looking at. You look at Tom Brady. He's not an amazing gym hero. You look at, Wayne Gretzky. Not an amazing gym hero. But let's even pick guys like Sidney Crosby, who's actually quite fucking jacked. Like, I saw Sidney Crosby in the parking lot for the first time. I remember the first time I ever met him. And I saw this dude walking, and I was like, wow, that guy's jacked. And then as he got closer, I could make his face out, and I realized it was Sidney Crosby. And I was like, he does not look that big on the ice. And that's purely because of the fact that the other guys are also huge. Okay? If you met Sidney Crosby in person, you'd be like, dude, that dude's fucking jacked. But he doesn't look that way compared to other guys. It's like whenever you look at these guys on the stage of the Olympia, you don't appreciate how big they are. Okay? Let me tell you a funny story. I met Phil Pfister once. Phil Pfister is an enormous human being. I have enormous hands. My hands are as big as Rachmaninoff's hands, and Rachmaninoff suffered from gigantism. I shook Phil Pfister's hand, and my hand just basically disappeared into his. That man has enormous hands. If I have big hands, what does that say about his hands? Okay? My hands are only big in terms of the fact that they're very large, and I have long fingers, and but I don't have like big thick fingers. Phil's hand is like a baseball mitt. All right? When you meet these people in person, they are huge. Phil doesn't look that big when he's standing next to all these other guys who are world's strongest man competitors. You meet him in person and you're a normal you, and you're like, hi. Yeah, you have to look up at this dude. He's enormous, okay? Now, the point being, back to what I'm saying here, a lot of athletes have very average gym numbers. LeBron James is not an amazing squatter. I know all of you like to jump on that one where, oh, look how bad his squat is. Who fucking cares? Usain Bolt can power clean 135 pounds. But boy, he'll outrun you, okay? I have very average gym numbers. I'm talking about myself here, okay? And that's totally fine. I'm a donkey. It's okay. I'm slow twitch, my best overhead press is 225 for 3, okay? I deadlift 455, double overhand. I don't ever test a true max, not a powerlifting style with, the alternating grip and stuff like that. This past year, My best front squat was 345. Okay, like these are not amazing numbers. No one's impressed. These are very average numbers. Okay, oh, I can, my mile time is in the 5:30s now. Okay, it used to be faster, but not by a whole lot. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I used to run a sub 4. Never ran a sub 4 in my entire life. Even when I weighed 110 pounds, I got very close to a 4-minute mile, but I did not go sub 4. Okay, and that's at 110 pounds. I should have been way faster, right? No, because I'm average. Okay, this is not a bad thing though. Because you have average gym numbers doesn't mean you can't be exceptional at something else. I don't think my gym numbers are a limiting factor in my ability to compete in judo. My technique is my issue. I just need more time and more practice. But if I put 8 hours a day into judo or BJJ, I'd probably be much better at it. Okay. It's okay for you to have average gym numbers. Go be exceptional at something else. All right. In fact, I actually think it has played to my advantage that I'm very average, because I'm very average at everything. Like, I don't have a particular strength. It's not like, oh gosh, I'm great at long distance running and I have no strength at all. And I'm also not one of those guys that, well, I squat 800, but I can't run a 12-minute mile. No. And so, like, that played very well for me because I pursued the military, and I pursued, special operations, which, being a generalist, is good for you. And this is what I'm going to head to next. If you meet Navy SEALs, okay, according to the DTIC, the average Navy SEAL is 5'10" and 170 pounds. These guys don't have amazing levels of strength, actually. You would probably be underwhelmed. Most of them are really just relatively normal guys in terms of their strength. Maybe they squat 315 to 350, okay? They bench 275 to 315, okay? They're not, you don't see a guy who's 5'10", 170 pounds and he's benching 500 pounds in the SEAL teams. That's not to say that there aren't guys that do. There's occasional freaks where you have a guy that benches 500, okay? But they're as rare as the guys who run a 4-minute mile. You're going to see a lot of average dudes. And I'll point this out to you, buds. There's a 4-mile timed run, okay? And it's 28 minutes for the cutoff. That's a 7-minute mile. You just have to run a sub 7 and you'll make it. You don't have to run a 4-minute mile. This isn't like it's a 4-mile timed run. You have to run it under 16 minutes. No. It's a 4-mile timed run and you have to run under 20 minutes even. No. It's a 4-mile timed run and you have to run under 28. You don't have to have exceptional gym numbers to be a Navy SEAL. Okay, and that goes even for these tier 1 guys. These tier 1 guys, I have a friend who is, he's now retired, but he'll tell you straight up, you can be very average in your level of strength and your level of fitness. You don't have to be able to do 100 pull-ups in a single go, but you need to be able to do a little bit of everything. You have to have at least some strength. You have to have some endurance. You have to be average at a lot of things. So you can't be a one-trick pony. You can't be, oh, well, I can run a marathon in 2 hours, but I can't squat 100 pounds. That's not going to work for you, okay? There's nothing wrong with you being average in the gym. Go be exceptional at something else, all right? And that's really my message in this video. Like, that's it. Like, so many people get hung up on their gym numbers, like as if that matters. Trust me, and all the time that I played hockey, no one ever asked me how much I squat. And all the times that I've competed in judo, I've never had someone be like, hey man, how much do you bench press? I've told the story before in the past. I fought this, I had the best fight of my life. I lost. And it's purely just because he was a better boxer. That's it. That's it. It was my best fight ever. I'm proud of it. It is my best fight ever. It's the best I ever performed. And I still lost because he was a better boxer, and I didn't knock me out or something. I lost by decision, but it was a very clear decision. Even I knew I lost. This dude clean shop. He's a Golden Gloves champ. He went to West Point. He's fantastic. He was really nice too. Afterwards, we were sitting down chatting. He was like, hey man, he's like, I just gotta tell you, he's like, I've never met anyone who hits harder than you. He's like, you really hit hard. which is a nice compliment to hear because I missed him like probably 90% of the time. So, I mean, he was slipping punches left and right. The few I landed, I guess they were hard enough that, I earned his respect. Okay. And he pointed out, he's like, you really brought the fight. Like, he's like, you didn't gas out or anything. Like, you really brought the fight. He's like, this is one of the hardest fights I've ever been in, just because of the fact that you hit so hard and you just kept coming. All right. And I lost because, like I said, he slipped all these punches. It was crazy. He was just so much better than me, skill wise. But I bet that I probably outbench him. And I bet I probably outsquat him too. That isn't enough, right? He's exceptional at boxing. He's not exceptional at weightlifting. He's not exceptional at powerlifting. He's exceptional at boxing, all right? So you can have very average gym numbers. You don't have to have a 600-pound deadlift, and you don't have to bench 500. These things are nice, but the reality is that most of us are going to have rather average. Like, you're not Ed Cohn. You're not going to walk up to a bar and pull 500 pounds on the first try. Most people will take years to get to that level. Okay, you're not Bill Kazmaier. You're not going to clean and jerk some absurd amount of weight on your very first attempt. It's going to take you years to get to that level. So the thing that I'm trying to express here is to be reasonable and to be okay with being average in the gym, because it's like, you have these gym hero field zero guys, look like Tarzan, play like Jane. There are plenty of guys who are third string, they're sitting the bench, they have the best gym numbers. They squat 800 pounds, yeah, and he sits the bench because he isn't good at football. So, I've seen that firsthand. Some of my strongest guys couldn't play the game. Meanwhile, the guys who were the best on the field weren't the best in the gym. The same thing can be true in your life. Maybe you're fantastic at whatever it is you do. Maybe you're a tennis player. Okay, well, if you play tennis, you don't need a 600-pound back squat. Maybe you do marathons, you do triathlons. Okay, whatever it is that you do, you compete in judo, you compete in MMA. I think a lot of people out there are in the gym and working out to be better at something else. You're working out to be better at your sport. You play adult league hockey. You might be a fantastic hockey player. That does not mean that you have to have, a 400-pound bench press. Okay? It's okay for you to be average in the gym. Most of us are. And the point of you going to the gym, all right, isn't for you to set world records in powerlifting. I mean, some of you, yes, if you compete in powerlifting, your goal is to set a record. If you compete in weightlifting, your goal is to set a record, right? But for a lot of us, like, think about some of you guys out there doing CrossFit. Why are you doing CrossFit? You plan on going to the games? Are you going to compete with Rich? Are you going to compete with Matt? Are you going to try to break those records? No. Why are you doing it? To be fit. Why are you doing it to be fit? Because there's probably something else that you enjoy doing. Okay? It's like you like whatever it is, mountain climbing. You're into alpining. You like rock climbing. Yeah. Well, you don't have to have elite level strength numbers in the gym to be good at those things. So you do what you do in the gym because it makes you better at the thing that you really care about. So, like, for me, I don't really care that much about what my deadlift is. I'm never going to step on a platform and compete in powerlifting. And I'm also not planning on competing in weightlifting. Okay? I do these things. I do lift weights. I do train. I do run. And I do those things to make me better at the other things that I really care about. So that's why it's okay for you to have average gym numbers. Like, this isn't a moral failure. Oh, gosh, I'm not as strong as Larry Wheels. Yeah, well, I'm also not competing in powerlifting. Okay? So instead of comparing yourself to, I'm going to compare myself to Dmitry Klokov, I'm not a weightlifter. So instead, what I do is I focus on how do I get better at this to make me better at judo. Like, that's how you should look at things. You should look at things in terms of, like, what do I need to do in the gym to be better at my sport? I think it was Yuri Sadiq. He could power snatch 70 kilos. Yeah. And he threw the discus further than anyone else. So how important was it for him to get his snatch up to, say, 100 kilos even? It wasn't, okay? That's the point. The point is that what you do in the gym is not a metric of your success in another sport. What you do in the gym is a supplement to what you're doing in another sport. What we do in the gym is just try to get stronger than we are today so that we are better at the thing that we are focused on. So it's okay for you to be average in the gym. Go be exceptional at something else. And that's my message. I think I did better this time. So, give me your guys' thoughts. How do you feel about it? Do you need to have elite level strength numbers and be a power lifter in order to be good at football? I don't think so. I don't think you have to have elite strength numbers to be good at BJJ either. I think that it helps to be stronger than you are, but we both know that, that black belt guy over there with all the years of experience and skill, he has no trouble beating the guy who's a blue belt, who's jacked. That blue belt guy still gets tossed around like a rag doll. So, shit, when I first started doing judo, I got tossed around by this dude who was in his 70s. He was amazing. He was the instructor, obviously, but, he had no trouble throwing me, and I was like, what the hell? Like, I'm bigger and stronger than this little man, and I'm younger, too. And he threw me around like it was nothing. So it was like my strength worked against me, okay? So focus on what you need. Don't get too caught up in chasing numbers. Just get stronger than you are today and go be exceptional at whatever sport it is that you truly care about.